When I went abroad to Germany, I was in the 11th grade, and I had to give a speech about life as an American student and about myself in front of like 6 different classes with 100 German students in each. And I had to do all of this in German. It was easily one of the most terrifying experiences of my life, but when I got done with it, I really felt like I improved, not as a student, but personally. I improved as a human. And after going through this course, I feel like the exact same. With everything that we had just gone through, with all of the speeches that we did and everything that we had to write, and everything that we learned about public speaking and presenting ourselves, I feel like I improved as a person. And when I take a course, that's all I can really ask for, is that I grow in some way, and I grew in many ways from this course. Something that I really liked talking about in this class was ethos, pathos, and logos. And the first time that I ever heard of these terms was in 10th grade from my English teacher, Mr. Robinson. Now, Mr. Robinson was a really cool guy. Everyone loved him. He was so easy to talk to and just such a knowledgeable guy that you couldn't help but like him. And he actually ended up quitting when I was in the 11th grade because he had to go to Japan to study martial arts in a temple in Kyoto. And today he's living in Japan, married to a Japanese woman, still doing the same thing. And he got me really interested in a lot of classical texts, like Aristotle and Plato, and even some of the works of Diogenes. And I've read them ever since. I think that ethos, pathos, and logos are kind of like magic spells almost. Like they're ways to convince, they're like categories of ways to convince people to believe in something that you believe or you want them to believe. Like it's a real superpower, and it's a really fascinating study, and it's going through it and seeing examples of how we were able to use it and how it was used on us in these last few speeches was like incredible. Like it was great. It's like being able to see the Matrix, like really dissecting it and understanding what sways our mind in a certain direction. And the reason why I bring up Mr. Robinson is because, Peyton, you really remind me of Mr. Robinson, just because you were so good at helping students whenever they needed something outside of class, or just being really nice and pleasant, chatting with people in the class, and also giving excellent feedback. Like, I don't know if you ever want to become a teacher, but I think you would make an excellent one, just because you're so easy to talk to and you have that willingness to really help people. And that's something I really admire about you. For the last couple of speeches we did, I really focused on the attention getter. And there's a little biological fact that humans are instinctively drawn to fire. Like if ever there's a fire around, they'll look at it. And I tried to apply a similar concept to whenever I was making an attention getter from my speech. I wanted to do something that would trigger some response in people and make them want to listen to what it is I was saying. And I think I did a pretty good job of this, but I never really considered just how important an attention getter is for a speech. It really sets the stage for the themes and the mood of whatever you're talking about is going to be. Now, Brooke, I was really impressed by the way that you were able to handle a lot of serious topics that you brought up in your speeches, and how you handled them with such care and delicacy. I really respect that about you. Like it shows that you're a really caring person, and that you can convey things that are really heavy with such a softness. Like it's like a superpower. I really like that about you, and I think it's something that is going to, I I think it's something that is going to help you out in the future. Now, something that I'm struggling with even in this video is the way that I deliver information. I'm not just talking about verbal communication, but nonverbal. I have a really hard time controlling my hands. I don't know what it is. I guess I need to fidget and do something, especially when I'm on camera at the center of attention. It's like my body doesn't know what to do with itself. And when we first started out in this class, I wasn't even conscious of it. I didn't even know I did little things like pick at my nails and rub my thumbs and sway around a little bit. But over the course of this class, like I was really thinking about that. And whenever I would watch videos of myself, I would pay attention to my hands and the little things I was doing and not even remember doing them. And it was a little scary at first, but now I feel like I'm a lot better at controlling myself when speaking, and that's something that I'm really grateful for in this class, is that it gave me an opportunity to look at myself through other people's eyes, and hearing all of the feedback from different people and from the teacher, I was able to see myself as others see me, and that's a really strong desire that I have, because I can only really view myself from myself, and I have kind of a biased view of myself, I think. I think most people do. So taking a course like this is a great way of being able to see ourselves from other people's eyes. I really, really like that about this class. Now, Taja, I was infuriated by the way that you were able to keep yourself composed and calm whenever you were in front of the camera, and able to control your hands and your body movements. I don't know if you did this intentionally or not, but I was really jealous of the way that you were able to carry yourself so calmly and professionally. And I'll tell you what, I was really, really impressed by the way that you were able to convey such strong emotions. Like, I'm just not comfortable expressing myself like that in front of people. Like, it's something that I still really need to work on. But you, whether you realize it or not, have just such an openness about you, and you were able to share your soul with us. And I really, really respect you for that, and I want you to know that. And I think a lot of people think the exact same way about you, and that takes a lot of strength. And whenever I got nervous before or after taking a speech, I remembered what we talked about in class about positive anxiety, or meta recognition and positive energy, or turning anxiety into positive energy to use for our speech. And this was probably the most useful and one of the most interesting things that we talked about in class. I had a few times during the presentations when we did them live where I was like, oh man, I don't know the next word, or I don't know what's going on, just letting in the bad thoughts. But then I remembered what we talked about with meta recognition or meta reconstruction, and I started thinking about the positives, like how lucky I was to be in this position in the first place, and thinking about how it's not nearly as bad as I'm making it out to be, and just calming down and thinking about the different techniques that we used in class, and they worked. And I was surprised at how easy it is to turn that negative anticipation into positive excitement. It's kind of like opening up a Christmas present. Like, there's a lot of doubt. I don't know, it might be socks or something, but you can still be excited and happy about it because, it's still a gift. And every time you give a speech, that's a chance to communicate with new people. So, Professor, I think that meta restructuring or cognitive restructuring is something that you need to talk about more in this class or in future classes, because it personally helped me grow, and it made me consider how I can apply those same techniques not just to giving speeches, but in different aspects about my life. Like when I gotta wake up at 5:30 and go to work, and how I can turn that into anticipation for a good day of hard work and how excellent I'm gonna feel at the end of it. And now, Jack, I was so impressed by the way that you were able to maintain your professionalism and be able to say things so confidently without giving any hint of your own nervousness off that I feel like you're a master of cognitive restructuring. Maybe you just tied it really well, but either way, the energy that you gave to the class, not just with your speeches, but just by being present and being engaged with everyone, was just so nice. It was very attractive. People would just latch on to your positive energy, and it really made the class enjoyable, and it wasn't a drag at all. Like, I was looking forward every day, seeing how everyone was going to chat, and I feel like we wouldn't really have that if it weren't for you, because you were so open to engage with everyone, and you always had a nice word to give to someone. And that's something that I think the world needs more of. So thank you for taking this class, not just for the credit, but I think everyone would agree that you were an extremely positive influence on everyone. And now, Professor, I genuinely mean this when I say I'm very, very lucky to have had you as a teacher. Not many teachers that I've had, especially not in Santa Cruz, not even really at Palomar, have given so much effort and time and lost so much sleep over their students. You just care so much, and I felt like I needed to do something for you. Like, I felt like I really needed to prove to you that I was going to put in as much effort and dedication into my work as you've done for all of us. And it's really a special thing when you find a teacher who cares more about the students than they do themselves. Like, that's what it means to be a teacher. And so I'll say it again, I'm really lucky to have had a teacher like you over this summer. Like, it would have not been nearly as fun or enjoyable as an experience if it were for you. So, thank you to everyone. Thank you, Professor. I'm not going to change my major, but I would definitely take a class like this again if you, Professor Burton, were teaching it. Thank you.